welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my August wrap up with all of the books that I had on my TBR. This will be a spoiler free video, so if you want to check out any of those books, you won't be spoiled by how it ends or certain things that happen in the books or anything like that. I did already post a video for Foul Lady Fortune. It's already on my channel. I posted it about a week ago, a little over a week ago. So if you want to go watch that for a more in-depth review, absolutely go check that out for me. As well as if you like this video, definitely like it, subscribe to my channel, comment below, give me some, awesome book recommendations. Maybe you'll see them in future videos. I really, want to expand my reading because I really typically stay with a lot of fantasy romance or paranormal romance, even like dark romance that has a lot of spice in it. However, there is a video coming out later this week that will tell you about my September TBR, and I'm actually going to be starting buddy reading a book that is outside of my genre that I typically don't read. It is a historical fiction. I think it's also dubbed maybe like a contemporary. There really isn't like a whole lot of romance in it, I don't think. Now, I haven't read it yet, so we'll definitely see, but it's definitely outside of my realm of the genres that I like to stick with. So pretty excited for that. Definitely watch that September TBR video, which will be coming out, I believe, Saturday, which will be the 3rd of September. So catch that video. I have quite a variety that is coming our way. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I read in August. So I do still have my list here because I didn't want to really go off track and talk about them out of order. So I'm going to go in order for how they were posted on my video at the beginning of August. So the first book is 7 Nights by Sophia Somerville. Now, I did talk about this video a lot, or this book a lot, whenever I first started, because I was doing arcs for this book. I was working with the author because I run Enchanted Rose Services over on Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook as well. So we were doing a book tour for her, and arcs were available. They're not available anymore. So definitely check out in my description below Enchanted Rose Services Instagram. So you don't want to miss out on any of the arcs that are going to be coming out from indie authors that I work with. Also, we have one already up right now. If you did watch my August TBR book, or you did watch the previous one of my favorite indie authors, we are doing a book tour for Nicole Wells for her re-release for The Worst Story Ever Written. So she did go back, she revitalized the book. She definitely gave the characters the time that they deserved, and she really fleshed out a lot of things, and it's so good. I actually have a copy that Nicole graciously sent me. Thank you so much. I love her for that because it is one of my books that I loved by her. I started reading Stardust by her, which is her second book in her 5 Elements series. They all are standalones, but it kind of focuses on different elements and such. So that was how I found her, and then I read The Worst Story Ever Written, and it was really good, but it is extra good now. So I highly recommend, like I said, going into my description below, heading on over to Enchanted Rose Services. Arcs are available right now. So once you sign up, you're going to get the arc sent to you in whichever format you would like. We don't have physical ones, but you can definitely start reading it. It is definitely a murder mystery. It has comedy. It has spice. It has a very sexy vampire in it. Jane, the main character, she is comedic relief. I love her so much. So definitely go check that out as well. So 7 Nights, I know I kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but 7 Nights is also Sophia. We were working with her as well. It is a contemporary romance. It has second chance love in there, and it also has some spice that's quite good. She writes romance very well, so I absolutely adored this book. So it is about our main character. She, met this guy, and they had 7 nights of all of this passion, right? And they, had this connection or whatever. She goes back to her normal life. 5 years go by. I think it's 5 years. 5 years go by. She hasn't heard from him or seen from him. And then all of a sudden they, find each other again. And it's all about, can second chance love actually be real? Can those 7 nights that they spent together, completely consume them to the point where they get back together? So it was so good. It's a good beach read. I know summer is coming to an end. We're all getting into our fall vibes right now, but you still have a little bit of time before that hits. And so I highly suggest picking it up. I definitely give it 4 stars. I didn't give it 5 because, there were some parts of the book that were a little bit slow for me. Not very many, but overall, it was a really good book. I give it 4 stars. Definitely gave me that beachy feel, that summer feel. And, I'm normally not somebody that really likes, second chance love. I'm more into fated mates, forced proximity, things like that. So it was really good. Check it out. It is 7 Nights by Sophia Somerville. The next book is Foul Lady Fortune. Now, I did, like I said, already do a full review on that. So if you want to check that video out, it is on my channel. However, Foul Lady Fortune is set in the same world as These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. Now, it does take place 4 years after the ending of Our Violent Ends. It does follow another character within that world. It was Catherine, which now, she goes by Janie Mead, Lady Fortune, few different things, and it's about a spy slash assassin romance kind of thing, where instead of having the white flowers and the red scarlets, or whatever that gang was called, because I can't remember in These Violent Delights, but it is about the communists and the nationalists. And I apologize, my dog is barking, so I apologize for that if you hear it. But it's about those two parties, and it is about how Lady Fortune, Janie Mead, Catherine, whatever you want to call her, she actually works for the Nationalist Party, and she gets, into this forced marriage, forced proximity with Orion Hong. And, she does not trust him. She does not like him, all of these things. And you're progressing through watching how they interact with each other, the mission that they're on and everything. And it's so good because I really like her character. I like her character development the most, because whenever you first meet her, she's very standoffish. She doesn't trust anybody. She questions everyone, all of these things. And then by the end of the book, she doesn't really change everything about herself, but her personality kind of develops a little bit more, and she starts, changing the way she thinks. And I really loved it. So Chloe Gong again hit it out of the park with this book. So check out Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I definitely loved it. Check out my longer review on that as well. And then the next book we have is The City Beneath the Hidden Stars. Now, this book I got as an ebook from NetGalley. And, I was so excited because I was like, myths, yes. Legends, absolutely. Ancient Croatia, let's go, right? So I was so into this book before I ever read it. I am quite disappointed in it, just from my perspective, because I give it 2 stars. And the reason why is because the book did not deliver, honestly. The book, definitely had this whimsical feel about it. It had a lot of, missed plot points. It started out very slow, like kind of building up, which is not a downfall, because, there's a lot of books that I love that do start out slow And then by 30-40% in, you're hooked and you're just flying through the book. And that is not what happened in this book, because it started out very slow, very info dumpy, very like, here's what's going on. And I feel like whenever we were talking about some of the plot points, about, who people were or like where the story was going, I feel like it lacked a lot of like fleshing out in certain parts. I also feel like you have this slow book and then you get to, the ending where it's trying to wrap up all of those plot points it gave you. And instead of extending the book, or instead of, making it thicker and everything else like that, or at least cutting down some of the plot points, instead it just rushes to the end. It doesn't really, tie up all the loose ends. And I don't know if that is on purpose. I don't know if it's going to be a series. I really don't know. Or what the author was, kind of aiming for on that. I don't know if the author is wanting you to have more of, questions unanswered and you kind of develop your own ending to it, or like how you think things progressed and how they ended, where they didn't fill that in. But it just did not hit home for me. It was a 2-star. I struggled. I almost DNF'd it on multiple occasions. So it might be something that you really like. If you like things about, myths and legends and, all these different mythological creatures and, in an ancient time of Croatia and everything, pick it up. If you like Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, this is not anywhere near the level that Neverwhere is on, but if you like that type of atmosphere, if you like that type of story, you may like this book. I definitely feel like the author took some inspiration from that, but I just don't feel like the author delivered. Okay. So the next book, oh my goodness, The Dark King by Gina Maxwell. Whew. Okay, so in my August TBR video, I talked about how I love the Fae. You can clearly see my Sarah J. Maas collection. I even have the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa. You throw Fae at me and you throw romance and I am in, right? So I didn't know how this was going to go, because you have like the Night Court King. And I was like, are you really going to hold a candle to Rhysand or Desmond Flynn? I mean, those two guys, they have my heart. They battle for it. Gina Maxwell did an amazing job at this book. It is, dark. It is fantasy. It has, basically smut in there. It's erotica, forced proximity, arranged marriage, which is kind of not what you would think as an arranged marriage would be. There's a lot of good, points in here that check off of my checklist of things that I like. So whenever I was reading it, the book is so good. It is a standalone. It is in a series. Gina is coming out with a series, but you don't have to read the first one to continue on. So they are standalones. You do get your happily ever after at the end. So good. I give this book 5 stars. I got it from Entangled Publishing. So definitely thank you, Entangled Publishing, for that, for giving me the chance to read this early. I devoured this book in almost one sitting. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I work 2 jobs, so I have to try to fit in reading where I can. I paid for it dearly the next day, but I do not care. I finished it up the next day. I almost could finish it in one night if I would have stayed up an extra hour or 2, but I needed to be up at 6 a.m. to go to my full-time job, and I just could not do that. I was like, I'm already going to be running on 4 hours of sleep. I need to get some rest. So this book is so good. Pick it up if you like dark fantasy, if you like spicy romance, if you like Fae romances, if you like a Fae bad boy, pick this book up. You will not be disappointed. The last book that was on my August TBR is After Dark with Roxy Clark. Now, I did get this arc from Bloomsbury. They had sent it in the mail to me. I didn't remember signing up for it, but clearly I did. So I was very skeptical on this because it is a YA murder mystery. I'm trying to figure out how I can, tell this because this book was actually pretty good. I give it 3 stars, only because it really isn't in my genre type, so it was so hard for me to get into it. But by no means, this book is not poorly written. It is very good. The story is very good. You follow the main character. She does these ghost tours of the house, and then all of a sudden this murder happens, and she gets caught up in it. So she's trying to figure it out and what's going on in her town. And so I really loved the main character. She was funny at times. She definitely, kept you wanting to read. I feel like the story was very fleshed out. I feel like it was very well written. Like I said, it wasn't my type of book because in certain parts, I found myself, reading, but also thinking about other things. So it didn't keep me completely involved the whole time. And that is at no fault by the author. By no means. It is at fault for me because I'm not used to reading these type of books. And so, it was hard for me to stay in the moment. But definitely pick this up. It was a great Halloween book. So that's right around the corner. It gives you those atmosphere vibes of, Halloween, fall, spooky, wonderful book. So, like I said, I give it 3 stars only because it was hard for me to stay invested. But that's because it's not my typical read. You may love it. If you like, YA, if you like a good murder mystery, if you like a good fall Halloween vibe, this book is where you want to go. So that was my August TBR. I, hope that if you guys have read any of these books or plan on reading any of these books, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've read them. Did you like them? Did you not? If you do plan on reading any of them, let me know. I want to know which ones, kind of caught your eye or, that you've kind of heard about and want to try to give it a read. And then definitely in my description, like I said, follow my Enchanted Rose services to get some ARCs and some things from indie authors. I have giveaways going every single month. So we definitely keep things going over there. So if you want to find your next favorite indie author, maybe your next hidden gem that you never even knew about, do that, as well as my personal Instagram is down below as well. You want to come talk books with me, give me book recommendations, maybe even tell me, hey, I ended up not liking this book, and, tell me why as well. Let's talk about it, because that would be so fun. Like this video, subscribe, comment below. I will see you here next time on Saturday with my September TBR, and until then, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!